Chapter 13. The final reveal. The trial was set to begin on Monday, and the air in the house was thick with anticipation. Mina had spent the afternoon reviewing the final notes with Hanna, whose insights into the cultural nuances of the mother's testimony had become a very helpful tool. As evening fell, the sound of David's motorcycle engine hummed in the driveway, cutting through the quiet of the neighborhood before falling silent. Mina looked up, a slow smile spreading across her face. She walked to the front door and opened it just as a figure stepped into the light of the porch. Raven stood there, dressed in her usual dark gear, her expression calm but her eyes sharp with the same intelligence Mina had always admired. The makeup was back but with a much more moderate application. It looked far more sensible and not like she was begging for attention, but finding a way to express herself in a healthy manner. She looked at the house, then back at Mina, nodding slowly as if acknowledging everything that had changed since they last spoke. "You're back," Mina said softly. "I heard things were getting interesting," Raven replied, her voice low and steady. She leaned against the doorframe, adjusting the strap of her bag. "And I heard you were looking for a little more than just smoke and mirrors. That was an interesting video, if I must say." Mina stepped aside to let her in. "It's been a lot, Raven. Between the case, the baby, and, well, everything else. Trying to be a stable friend and also trying to balance the world." Raven walked into the hallway, her boots clicking softly on the floor. "How are things with you, personally? Still holding it all together?" "I'm trying," Mina admitted. "Being a big sister again is a trip. I forgot how much space one tiny human can take up, not just in the house but in your head. It's a lot of responsibility, especially with Hanna here and the trial starting. It feels like I'm constantly shifting gears between being a student, an activist, and a sister. Plus, trying to be a top-notch magician extraordinaire." Raven nodded, a small, knowing smile touching her lips. "It suits you, though. You've always been better at the big picture stuff than most people our age. As for me, I've been keeping busy. Taking some extra design classes, trying to keep my own projects from disappearing into the void. It's quieter than your life, but it keeps me grounded." Hanna and David stepped forward, welcoming her into the warmth of the house. "She always shows up when things are about to change or get interesting. That's what I love about her," Maya proudly said, appearing at the top of the stairs. Raven stepped inside, bringing with her a sense of readiness that seemed to complete the room. She didn't offer empty promises about the trial, but her presence felt like a final piece of the puzzle. She looked at Mina, then at the cards sitting on the hallway table. "Ready to show them the real trick?" she asked. Mina picked up the silver coin she had used in her very first video. She held it up, letting the light catch the metal, and performed a slow, beautiful vanish, showing her empty palms to the room. Raven gave a sharp, appreciative nod. "I wish there was something I could do, but you taught me the best thing you can do sometimes is just to be present for someone. So here I am." Mina closed the door and turned back to her family. The fear of the courtroom and the misdirection of the company's lawyers were still there, but they no longer felt like a wall. "We're ready," she said, her voice carrying the same steady weight David had shared with her on the porch. Hanna nodded, her hand resting on the doorway of the office that was now her room. "We show them the truth." As the house settled into its final rhythm for the night, Mina looked at the bracelet on her wrist and then at Raven, who was already discussing strategy with David. She knew the path forward wouldn't be easy and the result wasn't guaranteed, but for the first time she understood that the magic wasn't in the outcome. It was in the people who refused to let the light go out. It was in the people who chose honesty and integrity despite the consequences. It was all starting to make sense in her mind. She sat down at her desk one last time, opened her laptop and began to type the final words of her story. The dream wasn't just a dream anymore. It was real.